This is Eddie with Talkin Shit. Thank you for your donations. You've been doing a good job. Keep up the support. Go to our website, JimandEddieTalkShit.com. Donate. We've got packages. Package 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You can choose one of these packages. With each one of them, you get something. You get a signed poster. You get DVDs. You get T-shirts. You get Jason's cum. And for package 6, I think it's for $5,000. You get to kill Jason with a bow. Now, just please listen, comment on iTunes, keep being supportive. You've been great. You've actually been incredible. Our numbers are going up. We are now, what are we, like number?
We got as high as 12, but for the most part, we're about 28.
Yeah. But,
but that's not bad. Yeah, that's in the whole world.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the world.
Yeah. If you want to catch me, I'm on Showtime tonight. If you want to watch Showtime, I'm in the green room with Paul Provenza. So watch that. And right now, listen, we've got John Heffron. He stuck around and we did another episode with him. So if you liked him on Tuesday, here he is on Thursday.
I'm on demand and Showtime all the time.
Yeah, it's a demand gym. Watch him. Jason, anything? Oh.
I'm going to be in Santa Barbara tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to a baseball game tomorrow. That isn't news.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for supporting the show. Please remember when you do listen to the show on Stitcher to put the code Jim and Eddie in the little code box and enjoy.
Two douchebags on a couch. One's an asshole, one's a grouch. And relentless, all their mouths. Jim and Eddie. Talk shit. Jim and Eddie. Talk shit. Jim and Eddie.
That's funny.
Hey, you know everything about MMA, right?
Well,
not a lot.
Yeah.
I just did a TV show with Uriah Faber.
Yeah.
What's
California
the fight
kid.
Yeah. What's the fight he just lost?
I know what the guy looks like, but his name's escaping me.
But Uriah's pretty good. He's tough.
Uriah's really good.
Is he?
Yeah,
he's
really good.
He's 135 or something.
He fights at 145.
Okay, because I told him that we wanted to have him on the show. He wants to do it, and I told him he could knock Jason out or tap him out.
Oh, wow.
Come on. He's
a real fighter. I don't want to get hit by a real fighter.
You used to say when we started the show that you would wrestle an MMA fighter. And
wrestle.
Okay.
I don't want to get hit in the head by him.
You can't even wrestle your emotions.
Yeah, I don't want to get knocked out by him.
If we got the smallest MMA girl.
Oh, there's a lot of girls that I would do jiu-jitsu with that would crush that. I watch them I'd watch them crush guys, or at least contain them.
So she if we got the smallest MMA girl, she would crush Jason.
Not that you have the smallest.
Doing like wrestling, doing
wrestling.
I mean,
he's a big guy. He weighs 2.
Yeah, that's the thing.
What do you weigh?
220.
Will you wrestle a girl?
That does.
But I wrestled, so I don't know if that's.
Will you wrestle a girl on this show?
Sure.
Okay.
I wrestled her.
You wrestled Lilith?
Do you remember when I did that hip toss on her and threw her to the ground?
No, we just remember you throwing Lilith on the ground. There was no names involved.
Jason's like a kid at school who will hit the girl that he liked.
Right.
And so he couldn't get Lilith's attention, so he basically threw her onto the ground. Yeah.
Threw some legs in, chicken winged her, ran her around.
You do jiu-jitsu, you also do what? Don't you do Krav Maga?
I've done Krav for 10 years, but for the last couple years, I'm really getting into guns. And
that saves a lot of time.
And I've really got into knife fighting because here's my thing. I'm 41. Who's got time to be in shape all the time?
Yeah.
Even if you know how to fight, you're not going to sit there and knuckle up with some guy because you're just, you've been eating crappy, you're out of shape. So my next move is I think I'm going to learn cane fighting because I figure when I'm 70, I'll have a cane with me all the time. And why not learn to be a badass with the cane?
Well, maybe Jason can help you because Jason's a black belt in Shaolin. Have you ever heard of that martial arts?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about it?
The Shaolin Kung Fu, or is that Kung Fu or karate?
It's Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's supposedly a black belt.
Is it?
Yeah, you can pull up if you look on my likes on the Hour of Power page. You can see
just because you write something on your page.
No. I actually I put a link to my old teacher on there. Cinquante.
And you're a black belt.
Yes.
In Shaolin.
Yes.
We've seen him.
Here's the reason.
We've seen him do it, and he looks like the Star Wars kid when he's doing it.
It doesn't look pretty, but it works. But what happened was. Actually, if you go to my page, I think it's on. It
doesn't look pretty, but it works. Are you talking about my penis again?
If you go to me, But what happened was during the 40s, you know how China was going through all the changes.
Right.
A lot of ethnic Chinese fled into Indonesia.
By the way, is this when he makes up stuff?
Yeah.
Do I just look at him and smile when
Yeah,
he,
yeah, no,
that's
this
what
is
we
good.
do.
Okay.
So a lot of
I
ethnic,
phased out
no, this
4
is true.
seconds ago.
This is true. A lot of ethnic Chinese moved into Indonesia. A lot of textile families.
It's
and
Indonesia. Stop saying it like you've been there and this is how the locals say it. Indonesia.
that's how I was taught to say it.
Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Trust me, I come from the country that's next door to it. It's Indonesia.
So, anyways, Grandmaster E ended up there, and they adopted a
He was one
belt
of the
system
best
to
DJs.
look, so they could look Japanese or Korean or something.
Right.
So they didn't look Chinese. They adopted a gi and a belt system just so that they could teach, so they could get students and not
And
be. you
and
know.
they wrote Rapper's Delight.
You haven't even worked in a fucking trouser system. Or, okay, that joke didn't work.
I want John Heffron, who that really does martial arts,
haven't
to
even
watch
watched.
Jason and tell us if it looks like Jason really does martial arts or it's just
You
one
should
of these
have
things.
Araya on. Why we're looking at that? That dude tweets more than anybody. He's a machine. He's a business machine. Is what that. Right.
Yeah, he's got his own clothing line.
No, yeah, he's like I follow him, and he I hosted the MMA awards on Versus about a year and a half ago, 2 years. Probably one
Well,
of the
how was that sense of humor? That I was just going to say.
one of the worst experiences that I've had in a a long time.
Am I leaner now? Look, come on, to be honest. Look, my breasts are bigger in that picture.
Yes, Jason, you're leaning now. It's like having a fat wife that I want to keep for no reason.
I just want a compliment now and again. Oh, they were spinning a freaking dog ball thrower and my grandfather's
Oh, now you're making
stick.
excuses.
No, it's just
Here it is.
yeah. That's the opening to Night Battle Broadsword form, which is supposedly at night. Like the story behind it is like you're fighting in the dark.
Didn't you have years ago, dude? Somebody come in and you chased them?
Yeah. I get
Yeah,
Chased them down. Was it at this house?
It was at this house. I've had chased a lot of guys. I had a guy break into my house, in my room in my fraternity house.
Most
in
of them
college.
for not paying.
We shot a guy with an arrow when I was in college.
Did you really?
holy shit.
We had a bow above our window, and I was laying in bed, and I felt somebody kind of touching my ass, and I looked, and it was this big, huge homeless guy. So I was paralyzed with fear. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let him, and he's got a thing of change, and he's walking out of the bedroom, and we had steps you had to go down, which were
You
like,
sure it wasn't Jason?
yeah. And my roommate comes, Lynn, and he goes, "What the fuck?" And I go, "Somebody was just in here because I think my wallet's gone and our thing had changed." And he was a huge hunter. And
I like how
a bow and
your
arrow.
ass being touched was the least of your concerns.
Yeah, exactly. He took a bow off of by a window, and as the guy was leaving our apartment, he shot him right in the shoulder, knocked the guy down about 20 flights of stairs, just goes shunk, bam, change goes
What
everywhere.
did the cops say?
He came, they go, "What happened?" And Lynn goes, he's stealing stuff. And then the cop goes, the arrow was in his back, like how it was. This was even before CSI was on TV. But there's like, he's like, no, the dude came up and was like, and they didn't say, because we were like 19 years old. And so they took the white guy's benefit for the doubt. Yeah, they took the white kids. We shot him with an arrow.
Mine was the guy was right in here. I came down to the bottom of the steps and he's standing in the room here. And I go, "What's going on?" He goes, "Is David King here?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "Oh, my bad. I'm in the wrong house. I thought this was my friend David's place." And I went, "No." And he walked out the door. So I kind of followed him out and I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I went back up to put the dog in the house because I was going to go kind of question him some more. And I look and my wallet's gone or my wallet is emptied out. And you'd taken not an iPhone, but whatever. What
What do we have before then?
Yeah.
Blackberries were.
But then
Edge.
I chased him down the
A
street.
pad. He took an actual pad.
He got away
He took
from
a pan from a hotel.
Jim's just laughing at our story because Jim's been held up by Machete. Not Machete, our engineer, but a guy with
I have two guys that spent 12 years in prison.
Where were you at when that happened?
I was in Manchester in England and got tied up with a machete to my throat while they threatened to rape my girlfriend. And
Well, you went in. See, nothing scares me more than any of those stories. Like, I'm such a nut job at my house. I have 2 German Shepherds that are perimeter trained. I set my alarm on my house and I set it off like when I first got it. So it's going off and I sprinted as fast as I could from that door up to my bedroom to see how many seconds it would take. And then that's what determined what type of safe I got for my guns. Like, do I go calm? Do I go finger? So, I'm like crazy nut job.
How many guns?
Do I have? Well, I only had 2. And then I started freaking out, going, okay, that's great. They're upstairs. What happens if I'm down in my office? Now I have my house zoned.
Aren't you worried about killing
Kill
yourself?
zones.
Yeah, no, I have zones.
Yeah,
Like, if
yeah.
you come, like,
I couldn't. Depression would get to me if I had guns in the house. I'd kill myself.
You know, to be honest, never has that thought
You don't have a
happened,
fight
except-
with your wife where you're like, fuck.
No.
You must have a fight with her every
Really?
now and again.
Not where I.
But you have knives in the kitchen and razors in the bathroom.
not
I mean,
where
like, what's
I-
keeping
a gun
you from
can
that?
end it like that.
To be honest, though, I have had thoughts where I go, I
You
wonder
ever
what
put
it
it
would
in your
feel
wife's
like.
mouth while you're
No,
fucking her?
never. Yeah, no. She's not
See,
into that.
that's
She doesn't like
the
doing
only
that.
reason I'd like to have a gun.
Yeah. She doesn't.
Not
yeah,
your wife,
don't-
other people's
we don't
wives.
play. Yeah. Oh no, I'll take a samurai sword and put it to her thing.
yeah.
But that you can say that's kind of us getting freaky.
So
Guns.
I want to understand the zone thing. So there's zones. How many zones in the house?
I got a few where I am the most
And then you keep a gun near there,
sectioned off.
and they're pistols.
Yeah, I got a. LA has the worst gun laws ever in the sense of you can't have anything cool as far as concealed or small.
Oh, really?
So everything I have is like tactical, pretty big.
You want a revolver, anyways, don't you? For that,
I have an old school like cowboy revolver, and it's almost like now I'm thinking if somebody comes in, what door do I want them to come in with? Like if I was going to shoot you, do I want to use the cowboy revolver?
I'm just going to put it out
So
there
the thing
to
is,
all our
can I-
listeners.
can I-
Don't ever rob John Heffron.
Unless you want some
Well,
guns.
this is the thing. See, I did what the guys said, and they left, and they got caught speeding my car, and now they're in prison. If there was a gun. See, the thing is, what happened
It's
with
scary. That,
what
like-
happened with me is it wouldn't matter how many guns you had, it wouldn't have made a difference. Because the first I knew of it, I was sitting, he came in the door behind me, and the knife went to my throat.
Yeah.
And then he picked me up, and then I was held hostage the whole time, and then everyone else was, you know what I mean? Like, because they came into the house while my girlfriend was asleep in her bedroom, in my bedroom.
So this was at nighttime.
This is about 3 or 4 in the morning. Me and another mate, Steve, were watching The Unforgiven with Clint Eastwood. I don't know why.
Great
but-
film.
Great film, yeah. We were watching that. late at
Pro
night.
alcohol.
And it was summer's day, so the bathroom window was open, as ours always is, you know. And this guy climbed up the drain pipe, came through the bathroom window, then he came down the stairs, and when I hear stairs, I just assumed my girlfriend was going to the toilet or something, and he opened the front door from the inside, let in the other bloke with the hammer, and then we're still watching TV and not even noticing anything, comes the thing, and then the first thing I know, boom, straight to my neck.
That seems like a lot of work. Like they would just to randomly do that. That's see, that paranoid. Like tonight, I'll be sleeping weird.
They thought they were drug dealers. They thought we were drug dealers.
I wonder why.
Because we didn't go to work ever. And we
Okay, so they probably were watching you. They
yeah,
go,
because we
they're
were
in there.
comics. Well, they kept on going, "Where's the drugs? Where's the drugs?" We didn't have any drugs to give them. You know, they found a small, like a gram of coke, and they got done for possession of drugs. Because the cops went to me. They went, "Do you know anything about this cocaine?" And I went, "No, I don't know anything about that." And they went, "Funny, your fingerprints are all over it." And we all laughed. We all laughed, and then I went, "Yeah, they made me touch it." Like I was so violated. Oh, no, they put it in front of me.
I had a gun. I had a gun put to my head.
Paint churches.
I had a gun put to my head in Pittsburgh once, just for I was driving with a bunch of buddies in the car, and I stopped to ask these girls if I could have their parking spot, and I go, "Hey, are you leaving? You know, I want your spot." And I hear this guy from behind go, "What did you say?" And I go, "Huh?" He goes, "What the fuck did you just say to me?" I go, "I didn't say anything." He goes, "Yes, you did. You said, look at the two faggots in the vests." And these two guys walk up, and they're both wearing like those like Argyle like V-neck
Right.
sleeveless vests
Like
with
Boys
white
to Men
t-shirts.
type- yeah.
And I go, "I didn't say that." And I'm thinking to myself, the fuck are you pulling up on a car with there were like 8 guys in my truck. I'm like, you're going to get a beating. Like,
Right.
So all the guys jump out of
Especially
my
since they were
truck.
faggots in vests.
All the guys jump out of my car and start, they start getting in a confrontation. I pull over to park so that the cops,
Right.
I had just passed a cop car with lights on that was parked, like giving someone a ticket. So I pull over like 2 blocks down, and I get out and I go running back, and I'm thinking to my life, these guys are getting a beating. They're like, I know the guys
Right.
I'm with, they're going to beat them up, and I'm just coming to the scene to maybe get a kick in.
Right.
And so I come walking up, and I'm thinking to myself, who would do this? Who would be so bold? And I'm like, fuck. Just as I say, I'm like, the guy just pulls a gun out, and I go, gun. Like in my head, I'm thinking gun, and he's got like like it was like 7 of us or something. 7 or 8, I don't know. And we're in this like semicircle, and he just starts pointing at each one of us, going, "Who the fuck wants it? Huh? Who's the tough guy now? Who's the fucking tough guy? Huh? Are you the tough guy?" And I'm like, "I'm not the tough guy. I'm not the tough guy." And my one friend, this kid, Eric Vukmir, I'll never forget. Eric Vukmir goes, "It's not even loaded, fucker. Come on, shoot me. Go ahead. I fucking dare you." And just while he's like getting bold with him, I just run. Yeah. And I just run as fast as I can.
That's probably the best thing you can do.
But here's the worst. I zigzagged, thinking like it was a crocodile.
Like it was a crocodile.
And I remember while I was running, I clenched my back thinking,
it's going to come.
I can feel the bullet going in my back. Like I know it's happening because I'm the guy that's going to go get him busted. So he's shooting me. And so I'm running. And just as I'm like far enough away, I'm like, fuck, I got away. And I go to where I see those flashing cop lights and I go, "Officer, officer." And I just start going, "Gun, gun, gun." And out of nowhere, 2 cops came and they're like, "Where?" And I'm like, "Over here." And I go running back and I'm leading the cops. Like the cavalry's on the way back. And I'm like, "Come on." And we're running back and I'm like, "There he is." And you should have seen the look on his face when he sees me and 2 cops coming out. And he just starts running and he ran to his car and threw the gun in his car.
Well, that's a bad move.
No, it wasn't.
Because threw a sweater over it. Oh, nope.
Because when he went to court, his claim was the gun was in the car, but what he was doing, he was pointing a phone at us. That's what he was. And they were like showing me pictures of phones and pictures of guns. And they're like, "Do you know the difference?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think I do. I think I know."
He wasn't going, "Which one of you want to make a call? Who wants to see a picture of my girl?" Yeah.
Did he get off?
He got sick. The best was they pulled me aside during the court case. His lawyer goes, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "This guy," he goes, "I got to tell you, he's not your typical black guy." He goes, he's a good guy. He's like you. He's got a job.
Well, that's a typical black guy as far as I'm concerned. What are you talking about, Eddie? Eddie, where did you grow up?
He goes, "Do
you know who the president is?"
He goes, "You're going to ruin his life. Yeah. You're going to ruin, this kid is a law-abiding citizen. This was a mistake."
No, he's not. He pulls a gun on people.
And that's exactly what I said. I go, "Get the fuck out of my face. Yeah. Fuck you. Yeah. Fuck you." And I'm like looking around in court. Because like when you're testifying or whatever, there's no one defending you. You're on your own. So I'm like, "Can somebody help me? This guy's fucking..." And then the better lawyer came in for the next, like we had to go to 2 trials. The better lawyer comes in and he goes, "So let me get this straight. You and a group of your rich friends are driving around your Range Rover." And I'm like, "It's a Mitsubishi." He goes, "I didn't ask you a question." And I'm like, "It's a Mitsubishi." And he goes, "You're driving around in your Range Rover." I go, "I said," and he's like, and the judge is like, "Just answer the questions." I'm like, "But he's fucking painting."
Yeah, no, we weren't. Yeah.
And he goes, "And you and your you're yelling racial slurs." And I'm like, no one yelled racial. They claim we called him a faggot. And I go, "No one called him a faggot." I go, which I found out later, my friend did call him a faggot. But
so you guys were at fault. You deserved a gun in front of your face.
Yeah, this story
suddenly got weird.
All of a sudden, it'll turn out these guys weren't black and they didn't have a gun. And Eddie shot a homeless black man.
Another one of those guys in prison wrongly.
Yeah, but no, he got 6 months probation, and we'll never be able to own a gun legally, even though the gun wasn't owned legally.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the moral to this story is if you ever get asked to testify or like press charges, don't.
It is scary in court. It is scary in court when because mine were 2 young lads and other gang members from the area showed up and sort of intimidated a little bit when you took the stand. And but one of them, the mother of one of these guys, which it actually just on looking at this woman, I felt sorry for the lad who did this crime to me, because she was just a heroin-ridden just piece of shit. This woman, right? And her son was 24. Her son was 24, and she came up to me we were having lunch during the court case, and she came up to me and my girlfriend and said, "I'm going to have you killed," right? And so I went straight to the cops and said, she just said she's going to have me killed. She got held in contempt of court. So when her son got sentenced to 12 years, in Britain, they just go, it's the same court case, same jury. They consider it all the same case. So she's crying about her son getting sentenced to 12 years. And then it's like, now you get on the fucking stand. You're next. Right?
Wow.
Right? So she got, I think, 6 months probation or whatever. And she as she had tears in her eyes, read out a letter apologizing to the thing. but first of all denied that she did it. So I had to take the stand again, and the court goes, what did the court? The lawyer said, "Oh, can you please describe the lady who did this to you?" And I said, "She was this tall, this whatever, what this color, she had this type of hair, she was this blah 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 blah." And she goes, "And what age would you put her at?" And I said, "Well, I know her son's 24, so I'd have to put her 15 years older than that." Right? Just as a little extra... as a little extra dig, because I was already happy because the court case was over, and the room started laughing, and people were making noises because there was everyone on my side of the case was happy that this thing had ended. Right. So everyone, now I'm killing it, right? right. So everyone's laughing, and the lawyer actually went like this. No, the judge went order, just like out of a movie, order, and then he went 39 then. She was a cunt, awesome. That woman. That was a long fucking 6 days, that court case.
How about the guy that pulled the gun on me? It was his first day owning the gun.
Oh, of course it was.
And he was just looking for a reason.
It's like when you get caught speeding in a new car. After you have the car for a while, you don't drive it around like a fuckwit. But the first few days, you're like, what can I do with this fucking thing?
Yeah, I'm such a nutshot. There's a thing on, I've been watching, it's a mob, a flash crime mob. You know how they used to just show up? Everyone start dancing it too, and it's funny. Well, in Philly and some other cities, 400 or 500 teenagers, 15, 16, 17, been showing up and then beating the crap out of anybody who was on that street that the flash crime mob is, and then going into stores and just taking.
Kind of what's happening in London.
Well, you know what's happening in London right now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And it's that. So I was talking to my dad, who's a crazy gun guy. I go, what do you do in that situation? I go, it's just a shitty day because you can't empty out and start shooting into a group of 15-year-olds. Or do you?
Yes, you do.
Or you only have 7 shots. So now is it like zombie game where you just shoot who's in front of you?
Or you just pop one and the rest of them will run.
Or do you just take off and sprint as fast as you can? Is the best move to do that.
I think psychotically, I think you do shoot one, and I think I think if you spray and shoot 7, they're coming back at you.
That's what I mean. So
but you shoot
I
one,
think
they're all
go
going
in there like Rambo with like 10 guns.
Well, that's what happened out here on the beach about 2 months ago. That it was a Twitter flash mob, Crips and Bloods. They went out on the basketball courts here, and I was standing on a friend's porch, and I watched it go down. I just noticed, I was like, hey, it looks like there's a lot of, and all of a sudden, when you see like 1,000 people start running in one direction, because there was a guy that was like pop, 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 like shooting into the crowd, and it was just fucking scary shit.
It's that weird thing, like you said to me today when I was talking about the things happening.
By the way, can someone walk me to my car after this? Because I've totally jinxed myself. Yeah.
When you were talking about what's going on in London, you said that they're going to have to bring in laws. They already have laws. You can't incite these things. If you're the guy who set out to the Twitter that says meet here, I'm sure there's a law against that already.
There is.
But what you're saying, that they're going to start blocking us, or what do you think?
Well, I was living in the UK when the guy, the soccer hooliganism, they found this guy who was a teacher at school. He was like a substitute teacher or something. And he was organizing. They had the same kind of thing where they would text, the soccer hooligans. They'd go, let's meet at this tube station. And that's where we're going to fight. They wouldn't even go to the...
They wouldn't even go to the
game. Cops were at the games. So they'd go to like one tube stop before where you get off for the match, for the soccer match. And that's where they'd have the fight. And this teacher was organizing it. And he got arrested and spent, he definitely got time for that.
I've never been to London, but do they fight? I have a buddy from Liverpool, and this girl I just wrote a movie with, she goes, I have a flat in East London, you should go. And I go, don't you just automatically get stabbed and beat up when you that's gentrified?
I never felt unsafe in London.
I bought 2 Kevlar hoodies from some company.
You have a Kevlar hoodie?
I got 2 of them.
That's cool shit.
They're slash proof. You can be stabbed with them, but you can't be slashed.
Where do you get them?
I bought them online from some.
You can't afford one of those.
No one's ever stabbed me, so it could be bullshit. It could be 100% just Hanes. I don't know.
Wait.
Have you tried to slice yourself with it on?
Yeah, I kind of started messing with it, and then I didn't want to rip it because I want to wear it.
Is it nice?
It's like a badass hoodie. And if some guy pulls a knife, you just throw it over you like you're Obi-Wan Kenobi. And it's like
You'll still get hurt, but it won't break through.
There
the
it
Kevlar.
is.
Yeah.
Look-
Well, they get those
that might be.
T-shirts.
Is that that's the company I bought it from?
Yeah. Have you seen that
They have
stuff?
T-shirts and they have like all this crazy stuff.
Oh, yeah,
I'm a
it's-
nut job. You don't understand. I believe in the zombie apocalypse, and
See, the thing is, I buy a lot of this stuff from my brother, who's a cop. My brother's in the riot squad, my oldest brother, and he has a lot of Kevlar fucking vests and stuff that he buys
Right,
over
right.
here because they're a lot cheaper, and I mail it off to him.
right. Yeah. Oh, they got nicer ones than the ones I have.
Well, I saw a thing on.
Well, nice white one. I could have one of those white ones.
Yeah.
I saw like on the military channel, they're showing this technology where they have this stuff they can imbue into fibers where it actually like it stops the energy of bullet, like the spiraling. It like disperses.
Can we try that out with you? I'd love to try that.
No,
on the
it'd
show.
still break your ribs or fuck you up bad, but it.
But like
Put
I
a hoodie
said,
on you,
like I
and
said,
then,
we'd love to do
This
that.
is
on
what
the
I
show.
think. I'm not a troublemaker, you see. When I'm walking down the street, maybe after gigs, I've been a bit unsafe at times because I've stirred some audience members up or something like that. But I've never been in a situation. I'm probably hexing myself right now, but
Yeah. Well, you're knocking on wood while you're talking it, so you're totally fine.
So I never felt unsafe in London, not once. Not
No?
once. No.
Yeah,
never.
I'm kind of a puss. I was like, I'd like to
Except
go,
for in
but
your
I'm-
apartment that one night, right?
That was Manchester.
Brian Callen said to me once when I talked to you about the Krav Maga thing. Krav Maga is like that Israeli,
It's Israeli.
martial arts, and it's basically they teach you. It's not karate. It's no martial arts. It's basically kill the fucker that's trying to kill you. That's
I
all
know
you-
enough just to get me killed.
Is that
Like,
hoodie? Is that hoodie very heavy?
No, not any more than
A regular hoodie.
Yeah, it's like a nice. They're a little pricey. I think mine was that's
Yeah, but
$89.
That's the same as a regular hipster hoodie.
But here's
It's
the deal:
like
if somebody
$90.
busts into my house, now I have to find the hoodie. I don't even know where it is. It's probably in
then
my
go-
dirty clothes.
What if you're in the
It's
wrong
like, shoot.
zone?
Yeah, I always like that. 'cause-
I'm in the wrong
in the
zone.
green zone, not the red zone.
I'm in my fight short zone.
I always have like when I'm washing my clothes because I'm a messy guy. I have clothes in all corners and stuff. But then I do washing. I seem to go through the same amount of clothes, and then like once every like sort of 8 months, I'll wash something and I'll pull something out of the dryer like this. I love this shit.
You have a zone.
This has been months since
And
I've seen
what
this
if
shit.
the guy's in your house with the machete and you're like, shit, my Kevlar hoodie's in the wash?
Or do you have a
Yeah.
zone? Do you have a zone where you like throw barrels down the stairs like Donkey Kong? Where you have to dodge that.
Yeah, I watch Home Alone a lot, and then
This
I
is the
watch.
paint can
I have
zone.
marbles and paint cans. Yeah, it's
You really think this is going to happen? But you've never been attacked in any way.
Do you have any kids?
I have a stepdaughter, but I think what you're talking about.
Do you go more about her than you do about yourself?
No, about everybody. Like I'm that. No, but it's one of those we were talking about, or the last show I was listening to. You guys did your reality. Like my wife's like, you're bringing all of this on you.
Yeah, that's what counts.
If you're constantly thinking that everyone's going to, that's what you're searching for. That's what's going to show up. And I'm like,
It's
yeah, okay.
kind of like Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye always thought that his dad was going to kill him, and then his dad eventually killed him.
But I was with
You heard it through the grapevine.
I was with a comic. We were at Hermosa Beach Comedy Club, and he goes, "Do you want to go get some food?" And I said, "I'll go." And I'm driving behind him, and then I text him and go, "I had Subway for lunch. I'm bailing. I'm just gonna go home and eat." And he goes, "Okay." Goes into that Subway. Guy comes in with a gun. Pulls a gun, sticks a gun in his face, robs everybody, leaves. Nobody was hurt. But like that, I was a text away.
Right.
Yeah, but that's like saying if you cross a road a second quicker,
Yes.
then you're going to be hit by a car.
I always
It's
tell
not-
myself that I've avoided that kind of situation when I'm late or something happens. Like maybe I
Well,
just
they
saved my
say-
life.
they-
Every,
they- well,
every
they-
time,
there's-
every time I buy something new, my pinball machine, my car, it's always broken. I can't buy a new thing that doesn't break down.
I have the same curse.
Within a month. I have the same curse. I've gotten to the stage now that when I buy things, I pick something up, I put it back, and I get the one behind it. And I truly believe that I'm
you do have a sixth
you
sense.
didn't buy the second car,
There's a thing called there's a book called The Gift of Fear by Gavin DeBecker. Have you
Yeah.
ever seen this
Yep.
book? And it's all about the guy says we're like animals. When a dog's hair goes up on its back, the dog knows it's in trouble or something's going to happen. They say that subconsciously, because we know so much that our conscious mind doesn't have, that you know when something's going to happen. You actually know because there are all these things.
And a lot
Well, they
of
say
times
your heart rate actually reacts before the event.
and then you talk yourself out of it. You go, I'm just being stupid. I'm just being.
But this book
I've
says
been-
don't be stupid.
Yeah,
It says
yeah.
like
Yeah,
don't,
but when I
don't get on
order a
that
pinball
elevator.
machine and they deliver it by
In your hair.
post, I don't know that the one they're delivering me that I bought off the internet is going to break down every 3 months.
It's just like when we do the glory hole challenge. I'm not going in the hole I'm supposed to go in.
Yeah.
I'm not going into any holes.
You got to do it, Jason.
You're gonna have to do it, Jason. You're not gonna be on the show anymore.
You're the only one that doesn't have a girlfriend. You have to do it.
Yeah.
Got it for the show, man. I mean, I used to do. I had to wrestle a girl. used to do.
I'll
radio.
do that. I'll wrestle.
You wrestled a girl?
And I used to do morning radio with Danny Bonaducci from the Partridge Family for 5 years.
Was he the girl you wrestled?
I was his wacky sidekick who he hated, and he would have me do crazy stuff.
So you still friends
where
with
was
Danny
this?
Bonaducci?
Yeah. Well, I do his show.
Where was
His
this?
His reality show is one of the best ones I ever saw. The one
This
where
was in
he had the
Detroit.
roid rage and he went mental in Vegas. And
I have so many stories that I've told. One of the only times I've really. What story I want to tell you? Okay, Danny. Once I got in a fight with me and Danny, and
Like a fist fight?
Yeah, and then so later that day, the girl was dating at the time comes home and goes, "Why'd you buy a VCR?" And I go, "I didn't buy a VCR." And then she goes, "Yeah, there's a Best Buy bag and there's a VCR in it, and it's your signature on the credit card." I go, "I didn't buy that." She goes, "Yeah, you did." And so it was that conversation for a little bit. She goes, "Are you fucked up? Like, why do you saying you don't buy it?" I go, "I don't." And then I go, I was fighting with Danny, and then she looked at me and she goes, "Let me see your eyes," or whatever. Went to the hospital and he gave me a concussion, and I didn't remember. I drove home, but this was back when people bought DVD players, so he actually hit me so hard we went backwards in technology. We went like a whole like almost like even 5 or 6 years. Like he hit me right.
Yeah, I was thinking, who buys a video player?
The guy selling it to you is probably like, what the fuck is wrong
this guy
with you?
is Jack. But that's how, we got in a fight.
He hit you that hard.
Right in the back of the head. Right in the back. We were doing interviewing Janet Jackson. Our producer had the wrong name, said the wrong name of her album, and Danny goes crazy on our producer. He's literally like choking him. So I have the mic, and Janet Jackson's talking, and I literally would go, "So it was like growing up with all your brothers." And then I'd be over here trying to pull Danny off. So Janet Jackson's talking, and then I whip back. "So you ever come to Detroit? What do you like to do?" And then I'm back over here. So like the full-blown fight as we were talking to Janet Jackson.
He's a maniac.
Yeah. Oh, so the wrestling one. So he hated me, and he goes, "Let's make Heffron wrestle a girl for Hootie and the Blowfish tickets." This is when I did radio. There's Hootie and Blowfish.
Now
Hansen.
you're going back in music.
Yeah.
How bad was this concussion?
Yeah. That's when we did radio, and there was this girl, and they put like Jello, and I had to wear a Speedo, and I'm in this baby pool, and this girl she's on top of me, she's pulling my hair, and I had to turn and whisper in her ear, "You're gonna get the tickets no matter what. Like, stop trying to beat my ass."
Yeah, I had that happen.
Like, we're doing it as fun, and there's like listeners, and she was at one point literally grabbed my hair and was like yanking my hair, and I had to
you
go,
can't hit him.
"No,"
Hold on,
I'm like, "You're gonna win."
Hold on. I Jello wrestled a girl and I broke her fucking nose. Fucking nose.
Listen, you step into that Jello wrestling thing, and I can't promise what's going to happen, man.
But you did it because she fell on your knee or something, didn't she?
I picked her up and body slammed her. But I told the girls, I wrestled 2 girls, and it's on YouTube. It's Eddie F. Jello wrestles. This girl said to me, I said to him, "Look, I don't want to be here." It was for a radio show for Alice. You ever do Alice 97.3 in San Francisco?
Way back in the day, it was called Alice and No Name or something. No.
Well, I go, yeah.
Whatever that morning
now
show
Alice
was.
and Vinny. Don't. Let's just fake this. I don't want to get hurt.
Fast forward to the bit where his nose is
It was
bleeding.
on cement. I don't want, like the Jello thing was on cement. I go, I don't want to fucking get hurt. Don't. And the girls were like, okay. As soon as it started, they just started like punching and grabbing and
because that
kicking
cement
and
isn't any less hard because a baby pulls on the fucking thing, is
Yeah,
it?
I know.
No, it's like it's a tiny little sleeve of nylon or plastic over the cement. And I saw a girl hit before, like there were a bunch of other fights before us. I see this girl slam her jaw off the pool, get up and go, "I think I broke my jaw." And I'm like, this is stupid. I don't want to do this. And everyone's like, you have to do it. It's for charity. So the girls were beating the fuck out of me.
I don't think you took a lot of talking in, to be honest. I've known you for a long time. So you were ringing me that day saying, "I'm going to jelly wrestle some
you were
girls."
so excited
You
about
were
it.
so excited.
I remember that.
Yeah, there was no way. Be honest.
He called me before. He's like excited.
Right before he goes, "I'm about to jelly wrestle these university girls." You were fucking over the moon.
Did you have to wear Speedo?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, you're excited. I don't blame you. I'd be excited too.
No, it's not fun.
Oh, in hindsight, no.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, they were like gouging my eyes and shit. I had scratches, blood coming out of there was blood all in the fucking pool.
Well, it's because they've never really fought.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So they don't know
what.
just just go 40% means? Look at you. You're doing a lot of kettlebells back then? Is this who gets smashed?
So I'm just taking their tops off. That's all I kept doing.
Yeah, see that pulling hair?
Yeah, see, I'm going bald. I could not handle the pulling of the hair.
That would bug me more than anything. That's where...
And strangling. She's got me in a rear naked choke. So this is where it is.
That was a night. I don't think I can watch.
Bam.
Oh.
I love that.
I got it. You got to love her face, though. Her face, she was like smiling. Like she was...
Hey, is there any good comments under that? People, do you read the comments?
I don't know if there are. You look great for 60. Oh, Cassim wrote that. Yeah, so
He's the only comment.
So
he loves the internet.
So you wrestled girls. Why'd you have to? So you did for radio.
We just did it for radio to give out tickets, and Bonaducci hated me, so we would constantly find stuff for me to do that was really embarrassing because he knows that, you know.
Do you still keep in touch with him?
When I do Philly, he does mornings in Philly, so when I'm there, I'll get on a show.
That's where he lives now?
Mm-hmm. And he wasn't roided out, crazy, big in shape, Danny. When I worked him, he was he had the patch for quit smoking. He would chew the gum and take some nose spray to stop the gum, and he had something. He had so much nicotine in his body that it was It was funny though. Like after he
did he ever quit?
With the no. But after he decided that he didn't hate me, we had a really good, like, you'd go to Matchbox 20 concert with him, and he would try to fight an entire row of people at a Matchbox 20 concert. So you figure every guy there's been dragged there by their wives or their girlfriends. And one time he took off his shirt, and it was like row JJ. He's like, "Come on, who wants to deal with me?" Yeah.
He looks a lot like Carrot Top without a shirt on, doesn't he?
Didn't he marry his wife after knowing her for one night?
For one night. And then now he's divorced from her and I think married to somebody else.
Yeah, because like she said she wouldn't have sex before married, so he went off and married her. But he was married to her for like 10 years, wasn't he?
Long time.
Yeah.
I've been bumped by him where I'm like working at a comedy club and they call me. Actually, the Laughing Skull, where I'm working coming up in next month in Atlanta. When it was the Funny Farm, when they owned the Funny Farm, he calls me one week. Marshall, he's a good friend of mine. He goes, "Sorry, I got to bump you." I go, "Why?" He goes, "I got Danny Bonaducci." I was like,
I got engaged at the Funny Farm.
Did you really?
Did you do it on stage or?
I did it just right before I got engaged, and then when I won Last Comic, I got married on Saturday. One Last Comic on Tuesday. So
wow.
I would say right
and
about
all
the
pussy
time
you could have gotten after your wife.
Right.
Yeah,
I got married 2 days before that. Literally 2 days before
And
that.
then you had to go on tour.
I've been holding out and getting married for all these years, just thinking, hey, I could get famous.
I don't. As a married guy, I could hold out. Especially if you don't want kids or anything, you could hold out.
No, I don't think the famous pussy exists. Everybody goes, "Oh, you must get." People always say to me, "You must get laid so often." I'm like, I do better than I should.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I can get quantity, not much quality.
yeah, it's not.
I can get laid by fat women.
To all the girls
all
that
day if I want
are the girls that are listening right now that have been with us.
I go into my fan page and just scroll down to find the girls who say they think I look sexy. It's remarkable. It's remarkable that they even fit their fucking heads in the frames.
Yeah, I remember when Last Comic we had we couldn't perform for like 4 or 5 months. So we did the show, no show on, and then
go to top posts. Go top posts up there.
Wasn't working the road for 5 months. So just imagine just getting 0 checks, like
That's
making
awful.
no money for 5 months.
That's awful.
And I remember that Tuesday, whenever the final for Last Comic was, we went to In-N-Out Burger, and I took my credit card and charged me and my wife now and some other comic. I go, I got this. 3 In-N-Outs probably cost tops
$2 each.
Right. My credit card was declined at the thing. So whatever comic, I've even forgot who I was with, goes, "I got it, bro," and pulled it. And I'm like, fuck, because I didn't work 5 months. It's been even though.
Terrible.
And then like 2 hours later, one Last Comic, and then like the next day, I did some crazy theater, made a shit ton.
How much money do they give you for one Last Comic?
I didn't get it. Everyone else got like $250,000. I got a $50,000 talent hold. But then you made money every time you were on the show union-wise, right? So if you made it to the final 3, you probably made $22,000 over the course of it was on. So I got 50, and then they deducted the 22 that I made from the 50. So the people who, like, if you came in second or third, you actually made more money than me.
And then you had to pay tax and commission.
Agent manager.
$700 is what like 47 or 40 what John Heffron got, not after you paid managers and stuff, after is what I got. Like everyone else got like 22. But I gotta say though, but before that I had one special, one Tonight Show. My road money went up crazy.
Oh, no, of
so
course.
like the very next week it was like, even now 5 or 6 years later,
I've done some TV things where I haven't made fuck all money on them, but of course it helps with the live work.
But it's still shitty.
I don't think people know that. I think that people, when they see you on TV, think you're a millionaire.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah, it
I was at right after last time. Sorry to interrupt. I was at a bar. I was down in Hermosa, and I felt something flick my face, and I look, and there's this guy. Big guy. He was taking gum and he was sticking it in his mouth, and then we go, and he would spin it towards me and it hit me. And he goes, "Let's go, funny guy," or something. This was right after last comic. And then I watched him look to his buddy, go, "If he swings at us, let's do his fucking ass. You just won $1 million." Or he said something crazy where I was like, what did you like? I wasn't even not even fighting. Now I'm just like, do you want me to explain to you what just happened to me?
You want to come to In-N-Out?
Yeah. Do you want to go to In-N-Out? And if you would, you might want to hit your ATM first, because I can't afford you and your douchebag friends. Yeah, because they think that.
When I did Comics Unleashed, it changed my life. Like when I did that show, I thought
You realized that TV didn't exist.
Did you ever do that show?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. I watch it just for the segues that by Byron.
It's brilliant.
It's amazing.
There's a commercial for Lipitor. Like, now that I say it, you'll be aware. It's like a guy, and it's all these, I took risks. Like, it's a guy in his 50s looking down at some ice, and he goes, "I used to skate on that pond, and that was really risky. But not like the risks I have now with my heart problem." Like, it's the worst jump ever, but they do it constantly. And I always like to put that commercial up to a Byron Allen and go, what's a weirder segue that doesn't make sense?
I can tell you, it was on my show. It was on my show. I used to have a joke about, I went to Africa, 1 out of 4 people has AIDS there, and I know I was the ignorant American because I was shaking hands with them all, and I was like, 1, 2, 3, nope.
Right.
And so Byron, when you do the show, they ask you to put down 10 subjects on a card that then Byron can go to ask you about. So his segue to me is, "So Eddie, you're afraid of AIDS." And so I do that bit. And then because he doesn't listen to your joke. He just goes straight to he's looking down at the card. So he goes, "So Eddie, you're afraid of AIDS." I do this, and then I do this other long AIDS joke. And then he looks at Tommy Davidson and he goes, "Tommy, you do a great Tyrannosaurus Rex impression." He goes from AIDS joke to, "Let me see your Tyrannosaurus Rex."
Yeah, like, "So you like AIDS? So your kid's 6, huh, Jim?" Yeah.
And it's a show of segues. He
not even
doesn't try to keep it together at all. I mean, his segues are so bad.
I do that sometimes when you go to some regional radio, and they do that. Write down some topics that you can do some jokes
need
about.
some lead-ins.
Those ones that they get nervous about. Well, I'm good on radio. I'm fine. I'll just keep talking. Just let me talk, right? But they need to have a little bit of paper. So I always write in jokes that I don't even have. I write like on the thing. I write like World War II. What's all that about? Question mark, right? And then they go, "What do you think of World War II?" And I go, "What? Why would you ask me that question?" Like, I just make them look like idiots. Like, I stand there all confused.
I do that on, like, sometimes you do these noon shows. They're the worst because you usually do radio and they go, "We got some TV."
Oh, they're the worst.
And it's at like 11 or 12 and you're like, who watches this?
I've never had one person show up to my show and go, "I caught you on that show right before the weather."
Yeah.
And I thought, I got to go see this
I
show.
adopted the dog they were showing right before you, and then I decided to come to the show where those women on there are like fembots. Like, they'll ask a question and you could answer anything and they won't hear you. So they'll go, "So, what do you do when you're on the road?" "And I like to eat, that even makes sense. Like, peanut butter sandwiches, I like to stick up my ass."
I always
see, that was even too clear. That could answer their question.
I always get their card that just has my Wikipedia page on it.
Oh, yeah.
I always get their card that they've got in front of them, and I pull it out of their hands right before you go on camera and just throw it. I just go, I go, what now? What are we going to do now? I sort of sit there because I like to make it awkward.
I know that news girl. I've seen that 1,000 times where they're just looking at their next question and they're not listening to you. And I used to have an agent like that who was never listening to me ever. And I used to go to her office. It was a big joke among all my friends. Even the assistants knew at the agency I would do this. I would sit in her office and she'd go, so what do you have going on, Eddie? And I would go, well, I just shot this, part for this and I'm trying to get this up and I'm touring. Right. And she wouldn't be listening. And so I would try to see how many times I could say eggnog in the conversation. And I would go in her office and be like, I'm going to try to break my old record. I'm going to say eggnog 26 times during this conversation. So she would be like, so have you been touring a lot? And I'll be like, yeah. Where have you been? I'd be like, I did a bunch of colleges. I went to University of Eggnog. Then I went to University of Washington. And then I took some time off. I went on vacation with my family. I did a lot of eggnog. And I would do this throughout the conversation. And I would walk out of there without her once, never. She was my agent for like 3 years. Never once did she ever say, why do you say eggnog all the time?
No, she hears you big in
She
eggnog.
just went down to 7-Eleven and probably bought it afterwards. Didn't even know why.
I have no idea why I want my eggnog.
On Good Morning Denver or one of those shows, I outed the entertainment guy by accident. That's my bet. And this is exactly what happened. So I've sat there, I've spoken to the people and they go, we've enjoyed your time so much. Jim, do you want to stay on the show? Join us for the entertainment. Jim's going to stay after the break, everyone. And so I stay there. And then this flamboyant gay man wearing a jumper with a little tiny tie sticking out the top.
Right.
And he goes, oh, hello, Jim Jeffries. I'm going to talk about a few movies here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you know how some people have a gaydar? Well, I have a stardar, and this next person's going to have it. And then as soon as he said, now some people have a gaydar, I'm off camera. I go, yeah, my one's going off right now, right? It's somewhere on the internet, this clip. I've had it sent to me. And then he goes, excuse me, my mother's watching this. I go, I think she knew from the moment you were born, mate, right? And the newsreader girl was laughing and she put her questions above her face like that. And it turned out afterwards the fag had a hissy fit because he wasn't out to the world and he thought that I was the big moment.
I got kicked off of a show like that, which wasn't my fault. They start to play a clip. Hey, we're at blah, blah, blah. Let's take a look at this. And they start playing a clip from the special. And as it's playing, in my brain, I go, you know what? I say shit. Like, I don't swear a lot. But I go, this bit is one of the only bits that I say shit. Are they gonna? And it just played. And it said shit, and then everybody went crazy. And then the producer guy goes, you're out of here. We can't have our comics on air swearing. And I go, that was fucking on tape.
Yeah,
that wasn't me. That was you guys. That was completely, yes, I'll never do Good Morning Sandusky.
I did Good Morning Sydney or Sydney AM or whatever it is, right? And I hadn't been in Australia for years. And the opening question they asked me, they go, so, you're popular everywhere else. I'll do the Australian accent. So you're popular everywhere else in the world, but we don't know you at all. Why is that? I don't know. You know what I mean? Just like
those guys.
You know the ones where they're just like, you're a piece of shit. And
yeah. Usually morning radio guys somehow, they hate, a lot of them hate comics.
Yeah. Why have I never heard of you?
Yeah, we're just this guy. I don't know. What are just give me some of the stuff you're going to do on stage. Hey,
The show, the morning radio show in Minneapolis, I did it when you do Acme Comedy Club, and I'm talking, and there's a woman that you can't see. She's like in the booth, and I'm out with the three hosts or two hosts, and I'm talking about, at the time I had made this movie called America the Punchline, about how the world perceives America. It was done through all these international comedians, and they're talking all about the movie, and the woman in the booth goes, yeah, Eddie, but what about our troops? What about the troops that are putting themselves in harm's way, and you're making a film like this, and you're probably killing our troops? A movie like this and I went, what are you talking about? I go, this is the most American thing I can do, exercising my right to free speech and saying what I think is wrong. She goes, do you feel good that there's guys dying for you to be sitting here right now, blah, blah, blah? And I go, why are you sandbagging me like this? What did I? We haven't even seen my film. Why don't we talk about it after we play? I was like, you don't even know what my film's about. And I started just fighting with her, and I got so mad, and I stormed off. And I was like, I still felt like, oh, I probably ruined that for your comedy club. Like, you're never going to be on that show again. Like,
yeah, that's exactly what happened.
I want you to tell the story about what happened in your iPhone app.
Oh, I don't know if I should tell it on here. I really don't.
It's a good story.
Can you say it happened to somebody else?
I was on a very popular
Right.
morning radio show in America.
Coffee and Jammer. I love those guys.
Yeah, well, something like
Hummus
that.
and Tabbouleh.
Tom and Jerry.
And and it was right when iPhones had started to get all the apps.
Right.
And I'm on the show, and the news or the traffic girl goes to me, "Hey, so do you have any good apps on your iPhone?" And I go, "Yeah, I have this amazing one." I go, "It's called I forget what it's called. It's
Sex Offender.
Yeah, it's Sex Offender." And I go, "It's where you can find all the sex offenders that live and work in your neighborhood." I go, "It's great. You just plug it, show where you live, and it shows a map of them." And I go, "You can find all these fucking dudes, and I'm not swearing, but
Yeah.
these guys that live in your." And she goes, "Like my ex-husband." And I go, and I was about to say, like, make a joke about it and be like, "Hey, maybe you weren't banging him well enough," something to get out of this. But the room just suddenly went silent, and everybody looked at me, and the guy that runs the show looks at me and goes, "You can leave, Eddie. You can leave right now." And everyone just got really quiet. And I walk out, and I'm like, "What the fuck did I do?" And I get in the car, and the person that runs the comedy club's in the car with me. She goes, "Why would you do that? Why would you just do that?" I go, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Why would you bring that up?" She goes, her ex-husband raped their babysitter."
If you're going to rape someone, it's the babysitter drive home.
And I go,
when you have to drop the 16-year-old back at the house, that would be my rape as well.
And I'm like, and this is my fault? Like,
Yeah, how are you
I'm the
supposed to-
bad
yeah,
one?
how are you supposed to
and
know
I go,
that?
she was like, "I can't believe you did that. I can't believe they're never going to have you on again." I'm like, "Well," but I didn't know. And it turns out, like, yeah, the ex-husband, and he had sex where she was of age, but then she went out and told everyone because it was an affair and it was really ugly and blah, blah, blah. And the wife, but like I'm supposed to know that. Like, I check up on these morning radio hosts. And what they're doing
In between
all the-
song parodies, you're like, how's your husband's doing?
But it was so funny because the whole place got quiet and they go, "You can leave, Eddie." And I was like,
It's got to be uncomfortable.
Have you been back on that show since?
never.
They like you there. They used to like you there.
They used to
didn't
like me a lot. I don't.
So what do you care for naming it?
No, I just think because I have to go there soon to that town, and we'll see
you
if
might.
I'm on. Yeah,
I think, especially if the show's a monster show where it helps sell tickets.
yeah. Can't fuck around with that.
But
That show's not that good though. That show's one of those. We won't say the name of the show, but that show's overrated.
it's funny not funny as a comic. There's not even more. There's used to have to do a lot of radio to get butts in the seat, but all the radio went away because of this thing called the people meter, where they've realized that on morning shows nobody wants to hear people talking, which isn't true. They just don't want to hear them talking about, "Hey, so what's your favorite color? Give us a call if you like blue." People don't want to hear that. But that's what's cool about what you guys are doing with the podcast and stuff like that. It's completely overtaking that really bad morning jock radio. We're shaking the legs, rock the beaches. It's taking
We're in
over.
the cage.
Where you guys have more listeners.
So what
than-
were those baseball team doing last night?
Yeah.
Z93.7.
I hate the Mexican ones, and no offense, Mexicans. If I can't go on those Mexican radio shows anymore, it's not a race thing. It's just that whole. There's a drum banging.
Yeah.
There's like music, boom, 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 over the top. Like, here we are, Jim Jeffries here, and then like a cow noise.
I love that shit.
Like, fuck yeah.
I believe it. It's fucking awesome. It's festive.
There's one in my. There's one in
Or they like
Miami.
overly laugh at something where you, even though you just said it, you want to go, seriously, it's not that funny. We'll be right back.
Yeah, there's this guy called the pimp with the limp in Miami,
Of course.
and it was just
The pimp with the limp.
the pimp with the limp, and he's
Don't
like,
they all?
he's like meant to be a big deal in Miami, and the show was fucking shit. It was, and I'm going there next week, and I bet you I'm booked on the.
Are you
fucking
doing the
thing.
pimp with the limp?
This will go out just as I'm on his show at the same time, and I hope he hears it just after I leave the studio that he's shit. Not funny, fucking shit. Hey, this is Thursday. I am in Miami right now. Come and see me if you want to see me perform, or watch my special on Showtime and buy tickets to see me at Club Nokia in November or the Wilbur Theatre in September in Boston. Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for John Heffron coming around.
Thank you,
You can find John on his website at johnheffron.com.
Correct.
How do you spell that? Heffron?
Correct.
And we don't keep people often for 2 episodes, so that's great that John was held hostage. I hope you enjoyed it.
That and the boot's probably off my car so I could actually drive away. So
And I'd like to thank Machete, Roy Ray, Not Jason. Lalit, thank you guys very much. Go to our YouTube and our website and our Friendster and our Flickster and our Fuckface and our Google Plus and our cuntbag hole and .com. So just do all that. Thank you guys. Good night.
Talking shit.